I need a lighter. Oh, you got a lighter? Make sure we're I'm not asking for a lighter in the beginning of this.
We're starting. This is the beginning.
Okay.
Yo, yo, yo. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday. Hopefully Wednesday. You might hear us. Are you not? You're good? I got to check, make sure everybody's good. I'm your host, Sunny D. This is the Pot Smoking Moms, in case you were wondering. I mean, you should know if you clicked on it and you're listening to it. I'm here with my homegirl, Captain J.
Hello, hello.
And we got a special guest today. Another special guest. We're so lucky to have special guests the last few days. Joey from Optic Blast Studios. Welcome, welcome.
Howdy, y'all.
He's going to be hanging out with us throughout the entire show. Let's get it started. If you guys have something to... Actually, first of all, if you are listening to the show and you enjoy the sounds... Please subscribe to our show. It helps us get into more people's ears. Rate, review. Apparently, I've been reading up. Apparently, by subscribing, that's the ticket. That's getting us into more ears. Is you subscribing to the show? Apparently.
So subscribe to us on all your platforms.
Yes. So what's up? What are we smoking today?
I have from One Plant some Chemd, and I think it's an indica.
You got delivery again?
No, on my way to my mom's, I'm like, I'm not driving to the West Coast without stopping at One Plant in Bonita Springs.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, I stopped and got some very good flowers.
We actually might go there next weekend.
It's really good. Yeah. Bonita Springs?
Yeah.
It's nice out there. So that's what I got.
I'm doing some Mandarin Dreams on the new Da Vinci vaporizer.
Cool.
Which gets all the delicious flavor out of it. I'm sure everybody gets sick of us talking about the Da Vinci vaporizer.
I really like the paint finish on that thing. It's pretty cool.
Thanks. Sage green, in case this is the model that you would like to purchase in the future, Joey.
What do you got there, Joey? Do you know what you got?
Yeah, I got some Gorilla Glue 4.
Nice.
And where it comes from, I cannot disclose.
Weed man.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
So 710 Dab Day is coming up. It's Saturday. In case you haven't heard this last few shows we've been talking about 710 Dab Day, 710 is a holiday. And when you flip it around, it says oil. It's really mostly concentrates.
Yeah, so
Joey's getting in.
Let's catch up, Joey. When we first started this podcast, I kept seeing people like putting 710. I'm like, what the fuck is 710? Why? I thought it was only 420. What is 710? So I had to Google it, and then I found out it's oil for... concentrates.
That's insane. I tried to flip my head upside down.
Have you dabbed before?
Of course, yeah.
And what do you think?
I like it. The only thing is that maybe after I take a hit of the oil, maybe like an hour or two after, I feel like
the burning in your throat,
a coating on my throat.
Yeah, it's weird.
I guess because the oil melts slowly, and then since it cools down when it hits your throat, it I don't know. It just sticks there.
It settles in there.
I thought it was because you take if you smoke a hot dab, that sometimes your throat.
If in your little dab rigs, you can see the little oil collecting in little grooves. So it must be doing that in your throat.
Yeah, that's what I think, anyways. Because by the time it cools off and it gets down into your throat, it's I guess turning back into oil. I don't know. It just feels more gunky, I guess, in a way, after too much use of it.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say it's more like a once, maybe on the weekend or something like that, as opposed to a...
Yeah, you're somewhere, somebody has it.
Yes.
And they're like, hey.
Yeah, I feel like dab is a party thing. To me, dabbing is not something that I would normally do.
Same.
But I feel like if there's any place we're going to do dabs.
It's definitely on dab day. On dab day, we will be doing dabs. I mean, we have to, right? That's the celebration.
Yeah, that's the celebration.
I'm still smoking lots of weed,
it's
too,
a celebration, bitches.
I would say it's the difference between, like, taking shots and drinking a beer.
Exactly.
So like, I'll smoke a bong. It's the equivalent of drinking a beer. And then, I need to take a shower. Everybody takes shots, like shot time.
Dabs
Yeah.
are definitely
Dab
like
time.
shots.
That's dab bars. So
Kind of like
now,
a-
if you go to
they have a dab bar.
They have dab bars
at the
They
joint
have
in
dab
Miami.
tenders.
Yeah,
place.
listen, I really honestly think they're gonna have a dab bar there because, like,
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they
I'm
are.
like mouth breathing.
Yeah, well,
Can't wait.
they have. You know who else has a dab bar? Is that the joint Miami, which
Yeah.
we'll be talking about later, and we're probably. I mean, I'm hoping to like do an event or something.
Definitely. That looks like a nice spot. I can't wait. We're gonna try and check it out also on Dab Day,
Yeah,
either before or after the Dab Day event. Go by there.
710.
Fun dimension. Huh?
Yeah, it's at a place called Fun Dimension, which is like a arcade kind of place. It's
Yeah,
rented
and you
out,
get-
private event. So it includes laser tag,
can play.
arcade
What?
games. It's a cannabis event, but
That
with
sounds amazing.
adult games. You get to play. They have bumper cars, laser tag, and arcade games.
Yeah, skee ball too. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's arcade games, so I'm
That's
sure they
awesome.
probably have skee ball. It's not an arcade without a skee
It's like
ball,
a Chuck E.
right?
Cheese, but
For adults. Well, for that night is for adults. Normally it's for families.
dank E. cheese.
Thank you, jeez.
Dank E. cheese.
Let's not get started on the Charles Entertainment cheese.
Charles Entertainment Cheese. That's his name.
Also, if you're listening to this on Wednesday is when the show gets released, unless you're a patron. It gets released earlier than that. Usually by Tuesday. Sometimes they listen to the episode before we even record it. That's how amazing it is over at Patreon. But if you're listening to us on a Wednesday, we do go live Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. If we have a guest and they're available, we usually have them. So Joey, if you're available Wednesday,
you're welcome to join our
you're
live.
welcome to join our live. We usually wrap up any questions people may have. We just smoke and chill.
It's mostly just a chill sesh.
Yeah, mostly just a chill sesh. But if you wanted to bring something up from the episode,
You can follow through.
Yeah, if you had any questions on something we talked about or any comments or opinions you want to share,
Awesome.
any corrections you want to make, something we said wrong.
In that case, definitely.
correct us,
Well,
whatever.
hopefully I'll have some artwork ready to post by then.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Show them what you draw
Yeah,
tonight.
I'm going to be working on some artwork today while we hang out and talk about current events and stuff like that. So
Cool.
you guys will see it on Wednesday along with the post, hopefully.
Nice.
Cool.
Couple things going on. I don't know how to get into the personal stuff.
What's
without it
going
being
on
weird.
with you, D?
No, listen. I usually bring up, being open about this. Yeah, having opened up to my mom about my weed stuff, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it being like the worst mistake of my life because it's just like now
Instant
it's
regret.
just- it is instant regret, and now it's just like
Now it's a thing.
it's a thing that she'll bring up. Like, okay, for example, just I got into like I'm in a place right now where like I am recognizing things that have happened or things that have been said to me on a regular basis in the past that hurt me. Mm-hmm. Just like finally facing, like setting your boundaries. Everybody's talking now about setting your boundaries and just like basically letting people know, like, hey, like I don't like this, or you said this, and it affects me a certain way. I've had a weight problem forever. Now is when I'm finally starting to talk about it. But I've got a lot of like, my family has said a lot of things to me about my weight growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there will be a podcast one day that I will talk about all of it because it's like a lot of stuff. And I know that a lot of people struggle with it. But like, I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm like, I don't want to fucking hear it anymore. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an adult and I'm at a place where I'm able to say like, I don't want to hear anymore. Unfortunately, everybody knows I'm very passionate and I kind of, sometimes my emotions get the best of me. And like, yes, sometimes I don't say things at the right moment and I let it build and then I like blow up and, Another thing that like is really touchy, especially amongst Hispanics, because I know that weight thing is among Hispanics are very like nasty about weight and it's just like a whole thing they have. But it's also about speaking to my kids in Spanish. Okay? Huge Hispanic thing. I'm sure you guys deal with it a lot.
God, yes.
Yes.
And I'm sick of the fuck shit. I'm sick of my circumstance is not the same circumstance of my sisters when she had her children. They're not the same circumstance of my mother and my father when they had us. Okay? It's hard. And I agree. I think my children should speak Spanish. Why not? I speak Spanish and it's having another, it just opens another door for you.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, I'd be robbing my children if it wasn't, if I'm not able to pass that down to them. Mm-hmm. I don't need to hear it. I don't need anybody in my family telling me, that I'm not speaking enough Spanish to them. I know. Just like I don't need you to tell me if I've gained or lost weight. I have a mirror. I know. But it's like this, it's like a family thing, I had made a comment on the last episode where my mom had made a comment about my weight, saying, oh, like you had food poisoning. Oh, the food poisoning did you well. You look like you've lost some pounds. And that shit,
it might sick more often.
Yeah, it might be funny and like dark humor and this and that, but like after a while, bro, it's not a funny joke, and I don't give a fuck. And if I am going to lose weight, I'm gonna do it. I've done it before, and when my life is in the right place, I'll do it. But like it's not nice. I don't like it. And I was telling my mom, like, I got into an argument with my sister about the Spanish thing because I was like, being sarcastic, going, I love when you tell me about my shortcomings as a parent, like it's my favorite thing. Woohoo.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Yeah. So then I told my mom, look, I was explaining to her why I had gone to this conversation with my sister. And like, I do realize that I blew up and that like, yeah, maybe I didn't go to it the best way that I could. But then my mom starts throwing shit back in my face because that's how the argument thing works. And that's why I hate getting into an argument, is because like, if I am setting a boundary and I am upset about something, then that upsets the other person because now, so I kept telling my mom, all you guys love to criticize, but when somebody stands up for themselves or defends themselves or tells you that they don't like what you're saying, everybody gets like on the defensive, like, oh, yeah, why you getting so mad? Why you getting so mad?
I think that is definitely a Hispanic thing, having so much.
Yep,
yeah,
that
so
sounds
crazy.
like my household as well, growing up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like toxic because it's stuff that you like. It's none of your business. Like and the argument that I have with my mom is like, I don't tell you about your weight. Do I ever, you fluctuate in weight, like to my mom. I'm not like, I'm pointing at Jasmine.
I know.
I don't bother you about it. I don't bother you about it.
Well, that's because she doesn't smoke pot. She doesn't have a chill mode.
Yeah, right. Which I'm like, would like for her to try it. But I'm like, I don't bother you about it because I know that you have a mirror and that it bothers you if people bring it up. Doesn't it bother you when like, I tell my mom, like, doesn't it bother you when my sister like, like bothers you about the weight thing? Like my sister has gained some weight. I'm not going to fucking be bothering her about it because she doesn't need the added stress of me picking on her about it. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter. Even if I mean well, even if your intentions mean well, first of all, you're not in the place. Who are you? You're not in the worry about yourself.
Never know how they're going to take it.
And it's just like, why are you going out of your way? Like, why are you using energy for this?
If you want to talk about your weight, you'll talk about your weight.
It is. So then I started telling my mom about that, and I kind of told my mom about the weight thing that she mentioned, like kind of as an example of like, look, it's things like this. I want you to recognize that I don't like that, and it makes me feel bad. Mm-hmm. So then she's like, well, you do something that I don't like.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
So she tries to equivocate, I can talk shit about you whenever I want because you smoke pot.
Because you smoke pot, I don't have to watch my
like
words with you.
That's your vice, and this is my vice.
But I don't understand what does one have to do with the other? What does my weed smoking have to do with the fact that you say things about me that I don't like that are mean? You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was just her trying to leverage the argument by trying to, to throw that in there. And then that is a trigger. That triggers me. That triggers me. Because then I'm triggered. Like, exactly. Because then I'm like,
oh no.
You know what I said? I was like, you have no idea how I use weed. You have no idea how I use it. You have no education. You're telling me that based on something you heard. People having a problem with weed, because she's like, eso te afecta la salud. that messes with your health. Do you know the specific?
No,
yeah.
I always get the racist response.
Did you tell her about the endocannabinoid system?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because she doesn't have time to fucking, to think about that. And it doesn't matter. I don't want to have to explain myself. Like, you don't, and it's just, it got to a point where I was just like, fuck, man. I don't want this. Me being honest with you is going to bite me in the ass. Yeah. And that's why I don't. And then it's like, oh, don't say that. Don't say that. I'm like, yeah, I'm being honest with you. And now you're like using it as a fucking, as a tool against me.
No, that sucks.
That does suck.
It really sucks.
On the topic.
And then I was like, that was too loud. Sorry.
Oh, that's right. She wanted to play it.
To not get,
She scared me.
I know, I scared everybody. I'm going to have to cut that.
My life.
I was just like, it's my life. Leave me alone. Yeah, like, why do people spend so much energy trying to live your life?
You're right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off with that. I scared everybody with that.
I realized that was about to happen. So
and then I was like, let me do it now because I'm going to fucking forget.
Okay.
But yeah, anyways, that was my whole deal with the whole...
On the topic of the kids speaking Spanish,
yeah,
let me tell you something. They're motivated when they want to be motivated because I try to get them to speak Spanish and all that stuff. The problem is that they hear me and my wife speak to each other in English. I think in English. I can't just like think in Spanish.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like all of my thoughts are just like not in Spanish. So, but I'll tell you this. My daughter, the youngest one, was unmotivated to speak Spanish like most of the time. And then all of a sudden, a new boy came into class, and he only speaks Spanish.
How old is she?
4.
Are you kidding me?
Your youngest is 4?
She started speaking Spanish like that.
Are you serious?
Already being motivated by boys.
Bro, I looked at my wife like, you see this motherfucker?
Oh, she was talking to him in Spanish?
She talks to the little boy in Spanish because he doesn't know English. So,
oh my goodness.
So now he's learning English, speaking to my daughter, and then my daughter.
Wow!
And now they're like best friends in class and
cute.
stuff like that.
That's adorable.
It's super adorable. But I'm telling, like, it's all a matter of motivation for them because we can try to teach them as much as they want, but unless they like have a reason to, and don't get me wrong, yeah, speaking with grandma and grandpa and all that stuff, that's awesome for them. But like real motivation, you don't realize until they want to do something or talk to somebody or engage, and they can't, and then they all of a sudden understand the importance of speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding the right motivation.
There you go. You got to find a friend that speaks only Spanish.
That wasn't something that I did to them. That was something that just happened out in the wild. So, like, let nature take its course. If they want to speak Spanish, they'll find a reason that they want to speak Spanish. Forcing it upon them is just going to make them kind of be like...
I know. And that's the thing, too, is like we have to have casual conversations in Spanish with them at home.
That's hard, man.
And it's super hard, especially because of the backgrounds that we all have. And like, it's not like... Man, our family, our parents came from Cuba and really were mainly Spanish speakers, in my house growing up, it was always like, oh, speak Spanish in the house. My dad always forced me to speak Spanish because of my mom. So it's like, it's a different circumstance.
Spanish for me, for my son, for the first 2 years of his life was all he spoke. He didn't speak any English. We only spoke to him in Spanish. It was easier when he was a toddler. But as they get older and you have more complex conversations, I think in English, like you said. Yeah. Even though I grew up, my first language was Spanish. I didn't learn English until I was almost 5, right before I joined kindergarten. And then English was drilled into my head so much because I moved to Georgia when I was little that I lost my Spanish. And then when I was moving back and forth, my Spanish just got worse and worse. And now my Spanish, I sound like a gringa when I talk. But my son now, he has no interest in talking Spanish. He understands it. He understands everything Mima says to him, but he'll respond to her in English.
Try putting on a show that he really likes in Spanish.
Yeah.
So Pokemon in Spanish.
That's what...
Cógelo todo. Agárralo.
That sounds like some bootleg Cuban Pokemon to me, bro.
Agárralo todo.
Oh, man. Well, I went to the 4th of July at my mom's, so I went all the way out to the West Coast to where Elsa was coming. I left sunshine to drive right into rain, but thank God it was nice on the 4th of July. But it was only supposed to be like a little bit of family and like a couple neighbors, and it turned out to be a little bit of family in the neighborhood. It was like so many people, and I was overwhelmed with how many people were there. I stayed outside.
Your mom is
the
a
whole
party
time.
animal, though.
Yeah, and I am too. I always had events at my house all the time too, but I'm like slowly getting back into the doing that. I'm not. I mean, again, you know, I don't want, you know, little by little.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we had a great time. My cousins were there. My brothers came down from Georgia. It was a lot of fun. Once all the neighbors left and it was just us, it was a lot more fun because it's hard to have fun when there's a lot of people there you don't know, because you're kind of just like,
yeah, you're guarded. Separated. You're not trying to be you.
And my mom's too busy with them to have any time with us. So, at one point, my brother asks my cousin's son to bring him a beer. No, he asked my son first. And my son just looked at him like, what? Like,
to bring who a beer?
My brother. My brother asked my son, he's like, hey, you know, Julian, get me a beer. And my son's like, huh? No. Like, not going to do that. And then he asks my cousin's son, who's a little older than my son, and he goes and he does it. And I was like, yo, why is it okay for people to ask their kid to go get them a beer, or ask a kid to bring them a beer, but it's a problem if I go outside away from the children, but in their line of sight to smoke?
Yeah.
Why is that a problem? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then my cousin, like, she smokes a little bit every once in a while, and she's like, wow, I've never really considered that. Like, why is it okay? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I grew up getting beers from my dad, right. my stepdad and stuff.
Socially acceptable.
Exactly.
That's why we're here, baby, to change that.
Yeah, flip it like a pancake.
Yeah, and like but before everybody got there for the barbecue, me and my brother were sitting outside smoking a bowl or a J. We're smoking a J, and my mom's like, everybody's supposed to be here in like 15 minutes. You know, I have to finish this up. I don't want weed stuff out when people get here. And I'm like,
weed stuff out.
Like we were like middle schoolers.
So while the party was going on, I had to go on the side of the house through the garage to get my smoke on.
Those people, you wouldn't want to smoke with those people anyway.
It was a bunch of older people. It really was, like older. Mm-hmm. Like 60s.
Man, I can't wait until we're the old people.
I know. We're not too far from there either. We're like talking lots of shit, but we're going to be there before we know it.
It's going to be great.
I'm green.
You're green.
We are so mad about this. Sha'carri Richardson.
The world should be very mad about this. We know our community definitely is.
Yeah, we are super pissed. It's official now. Sha'carri Richardson will not travel to Tokyo for the 2021 Summer Olympics.
No Tokyo in Tokyo.
No Tokyo. Richard's name was missing. No Tokyo in Tokyo. Richard's name was missing from the 130-person roster USA Track and Field released on Tuesday. This ended any chance Richardson had of racing in Tokyo after she tested positive for marijuana at the U.S. trials. Her 30-day suspension would have ended before the start of the relays on August 5th, which allowed the possibility... What is that? Which allowed the possibility...
She could be part of the team.
Wait, so... But she's not going to be.
I guess she decided not to. We got to keep reading.
Oh,
that now won't be happening. So in a statement referring to Richardson stating that she smoked marijuana to cope with the death of her birth mother, USATF said it was incredibly sympathetic toward her circumstances and fully agrees that international rules regarding marijuana should be reevaluated. Here's a timeline of events and how we got here. On June 19th, with the winning time of only 10.86 in the 2020 U.S. Olympic trials, Richardson qualified for Tokyo in the 100-meter individual race. Doing so at the age of 21 made her the youngest woman to win the event at the trials since Alice Brown in 1980. Richardson becomes an overnight sensation. In an emotional post-run interview with her grandmother and other family members by her side, she reveals that her biological mother recently died.
Then on July 1st, it's revealed that Richardson tested positive for marijuana after winning the Olympic trials. Richardson accepted a 1-month ban, retroactive to June 28th, according to the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. Richardson was competing in Oregon, where marijuana is legal for recreational use. Richardson tweets, "I am human."
July 2nd, Richardson apologizes during an interview on NBC's Today Show. During the trials, she said she was told by a reporter that her mother had died, and the news caused her so much pain that despite knowing the rules about marijuana, she used it to cope with the loss. People don't understand what it's like to have to go in front of the world and put on a face and hide my pain, Richardson said. Who am I to tell you how to cope when you're dealing with the pain or you're dealing with a struggle that you haven't experienced before or that you thought you never would have to deal with? Oh my God, so sad.
Following the announcement, Richardson received an outpouring of support across social media from pro athletes. And then the 6th, Richardson is left off the roster, meaning she will not compete in the 400-meter relay?
4 by 100 relay.
In Tokyo. God, it's just like so outdated. So outdated. We got rid of it in baseball. We got rid of it in basketball. I think we're thinking about it for football.
Didn't this shit happen to Michael Phelps too?
Well, no, he got caught after. It never disqualified him.
I don't
from
think
anything.
he tested positive.
They just caught it was just footage of him.
It was leaked pictures of him smoking a bong or something like that. And it was
ridiculous, guys.
It is. It's so ridiculous.
If an athlete can beat you while stoned, he deserves that goddamn trophy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And who says she was stoned while she was competing? Afterwards, I mean, it could have been a little bit of smoke in the morning. I don't know. Bro. What does it matter?
Yeah, what does it matter? That's the question. It's definitely not a performance enhancing drug.
Yeah. By any means.
You can't have it both ways. Does it make us useless, lazy stoners, or is it performance enhancing? Which is it?
Yeah, what the fuck? I never even thought about that. You're calling us lazy, and here we are smoking, fucking breaking records, and still.
It's like when they say people who play video games are lazy, and they're super organized and fucking figure out crazy patterns and ridiculous hard things.
It's not that they're lazy; it's that they're focused on something else.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And they say a lot too for ADD. That's why we put stuff off until the last minute. Is because we just don't want to do shit we're not interested in.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Even if we know and we need to turn it in right away, put it off.
Well, apparently after this happening, a lot of these anti-doping agencies are looking at their rules and they're thinking about really changing them after this because a lot of people have spoken out in support for her and that she should be running. She should be going. She earned that. She won. And it's so sad.
She's definitely on the radar, for sure. Whatever she decides to do with her life, I'm sure she can compete in the future and kill it because
she's only 21.
She's only 21.
Yeah, not only can she compete in the future and kill it, but she can also probably start her own line of fucking cannabis.
Yeah.
She could be a huge advocate now as well.
Well, after working out, I mean,
I know it's like a reward.
It is a reward. I did that TikTok.
It is a reward. Here's another segment everybody loves.
I love you, Miami.
Do you know what that's from, Joey? He's at a loss for words.
Wow, I want to say it's Pitbull, but I don't think.
No, way off.
It's Livan Hernandez when he won for the Marlins the World Championship.
Yes, okay, I remember.
And that's when they interviewed him. That's what he said. We love you, Miami. I love you, Miami. I met him. It was pretty funny. I mean, I'm sure he's sick of everybody yelling, "I love you, Miami."
So our story is New Jersey weed man is opening Wynwood Weed Lounge and shooting a reality show. So this is an old article back from April, but the reason I decided to share it is because the Joint Miami actually just opened this past weekend, a 4th of July weekend. I was out of town. I couldn't attend. I wanted to go see it.
They even have a dab bar.
Yeah, it looks like a really cool spot. So I went to go check out their website, and then I found this article about it. So I was like, oh, let's read this on I Love You Miami. So longtime marijuana activist and entrepreneur Ed Forchion, right? Forchion?
That's what it sounds like.
Better known as the New Jersey Weed Man, is opening a weed lounge in Wynwood and filming a reality show about it. The Lounge, the joint of Miami, is set to open in early summer. Just opened this past weekend. According to New Jersey Weedman, it will be a place for Miami's cannabis community to gather. It's a place for local potheads to drift over, he tells the New Times.
You're about
Sounds
to say
like our
New York
spot.
Times. I was about to go, please don't give them that much credit.
The Lounge will also display artworks by local artists. I painted the entire inside black to serve as canvases for the artists. I am an art lover. Adding that he hopes to get the new lounge involved in Miami Art Week this December. The Joint of Miami will also house a juice bar and will have several food trucks purveying vegan fare. A large outdoor area will host live bands, guest DJs. Weeman says that some big names in the music... This is funny when I read this. New Jersey Weedman says that some big names in the music world have already reached out to him, though he declined to mention names, explaining that nothing has been confirmed.
Yeah, what is he gonna say? Okay.
He's like, oh, JC and Beyonce are gonna roll through.
Yeah, right. Snoop Dogg, he my homie. He gonna pass by tomorrow. The Joint of Miami is Weedman's second joint. The original New Jersey Weedman's joint, located in New Jersey's capital city, Trenton, is a weed-themed smoke shop and restaurant whose menu items include a Snoop's Dream breakfast and a Rasta stir fry. It was raided in 2016, and police seized 19,000 worth of marijuana found on the premises.
Whoa.
Fortune and 10 others were arrested.
That is a heat up for sure.
He was arrested and he was initially indicted on 11 drug-related charges. The charges were subsequently downgraded or dropped.
Wow.
Weedman says he doesn't plan on selling any weed at his Miami location.
I think that's what he was doing at his New Jersey location.
Right. He's like, let's make things clear, guys.
If you could see him, he'd
Nothing
be
for
winking.
sale. Not for sale.
Right.
There'd be a wink there if you could see him.
The what's her name?
What?
Agatha.
Oh,
the Agatha.
It was weed, man. Oh,
He classifies this as a members only club. I have my members only jacket. I'm gonna wear it to this club. Annual memberships are priced at $420 through June, with an unspecified price increase after that. I don't think we have to discuss the specifics of membership. We tried to look into it too. Weedman, who's 57, sees a joint of Miami as an alternative to bars. The lounge.
Did you say Weedman? Like if it was his name?
Like his
Weedman.
official
I
name.
know, that's it.
Weedman.
Hey, Mr. Weedman.
NJ Weedman.
Hey, Mr. Weedman.
Nathaniel Weedman.
Nathaniel Weedman. It's an alternative to bars, which would be perfect for us.
Yes, I would totally go there.
The lounge, which will serve no alcohol, because fucking why?
It's for potheads.
Exactly. We'll offer indoor and outdoor areas where people can listen to music, see art, and smoke pot. I socialize, so I go to bars. I can deal with someone who's sipping on a drink, but there's always some drunk and it gets annoying, he explains.
Yes. It's a different vibe. Like when they're like on a really drunk high level.
God,
and
I
you're
hate-
just like,
ugh.
I don't want to hang out with a bunch of drunk people. I want to hang out with a bunch of high people.
Remember when we talked about the guy who got to your Halloween party and he was,
He was super
already
drunk. Yes. Oh, yeah, that was crazy. So
when you get to a party and you're already drunk,
yeah.
you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Though Weedman is adamant he won't sell weed at his Miami lounge, the self-proclaimed marijuana activist does sell weed out of his Trenton shop, which is located directly across the street from City Hall, and does so blatantly without a license.
What?
Yo!
What?
The shop offers 16 varieties of pot, edibles, and hallucinogenic mushrooms. Just like that, he's just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
the
well, how
balls
does
on
that
Weedman.
work?
How?
How?
Most of my members
Got
have
a brass
medical
pair.
marijuana cards. I get about 200 to 300 people a day in New Jersey, says Weedman, who opposes the legalization of recreational marijuana, likening it to corporate cannabis and the Walmarts of weed.
Oh.
The state of New Jersey legalized recreational marijuana in February of this year. Weedman's Miami exploits will be documented in a reality series called Miami's High Life with New Jersey Weedman.
Let's just record all the illegal shit that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
No, but he said they're not going to be selling weed
Oh, yeah,
out of the
they're-
Miami
that's right,
location.
Yeah, they're
gonna
not.
be selling.
Which will
Right.
follow along as he opens his Miami lounge. The series will stream on an Unleashed Entertainment's website. Unleashed Entertainment? Okay, whatever that is. Though a release date has not been set, a representative for Unleashed, which launched early this month, said the first episode should coincide with the opening of the joint in Miami. Oh, okay, so then that should have been aired like recently.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Should have. Weedman, who has been traveling back and forth from New Jersey to Florida, says he was planning to open Miami Lounge long before the reality show concept arose. He tried to break into showbiz, even lived in Los Angeles for a time and appeared in a few productions. I shot sizzle reels and nothing, he said.
What?
I don't know what that means. Sizzle reels?
I don't know what that means either.
Is that like... That sounds like a... You know what that sounds like?
Laughing
You know
at
what
the voice
sizzle...
that you give. That's what I was laughing.
You know what sizzle reel sounds like? That sounds like when you're a porn actor and you have a resume, like your video resume, your sizzle
Your
reel,
highlights.
Trailer of your best moments. I guess.
Your sizzle reel.
your sizzle reel. Yeah.
Oh god.
I don't know. Maybe it's a sizzle reel. Maybe it's like reels of
shot sizzle reels.
shots of people doing.
We gotta Google what
Sizzling.
sizzle reels are. Okay.
Then after he found the Wynwood space and signed the lease, he got a call. Oh no. My phone rings while I'm walking into Walmart and bam. Didn't he just liken corporate cannabis to Walmart? How is he like now? Walmart is in his little story here. My phone rings while I'm at Walmart. Even though I think corporate cannabis is supposed to be like Walmart. Okay, sorry. And bam, Unleashed wanted to hit me up about a reality show, he recounts. It was the cream on the cake. I'm a media whore, and this was right up my alley.
So he probably did say it just like that.
This was right up my alley. The lounge won't open for a few. Well, it's open now.
It's
so
open now. Yeah.
He feels like Miami's home. I'm treated like a celebrity here, and I'm enjoying myself. He's on. Well, welcome to the neighborhood, Mr. Weedman.
Yeah.
He has also been checking out the bars and restaurant in his new neighborhood. Perhaps not surprisingly, when he asked to name a favorite, he mentions Kush.
Have you been to Kush?
The
Joey?
food place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Wynwood? It's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
great.
great.
Everybody says it's
Great
good.
beers. You've never been?
I think.
No, I've never been.
they own
By
a
the
few
way,
other places.
sizzle reels
they
are
do.
short promotional videos, also known as demo reels, highlight reels, show reels, promo videos, pitch tapes. So basically, yeah, what you thought.
Yeah.
There's just
But
another
it's
name,
not-
sizzle reels.
but it's not for porn.
specific
It's not
for porn.
Specific.
Although
There
it
are
could,
porn variants.
you know.
Porn variant.
You know?
I'm sure there are porn sizzle reels.
I'm sure you can make a pot smoking mom sizzle reel of like your best moments.
Yeah, we
I
could.
don't know. Sizzle, sizzle.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So this is the part where we focus on our guest, and our guest today
Is here with us in the studio.
in the studio.
Hi, I'm the other voice if you couldn't tell by now.
Yoey Ceballos.
Yoey
He is
with a Y.
Yoey with a Y. But you know he calls himself Joey
It's
Funk.
Joey.
You know,
I known you as
what's
Joey.
the funk about?
Where'd
well,
funk come from?
Yeah.
Back in my middle school, we used to do artwork and tag stuff like that. And our little group was WTF, like what the fuck or whatever.
Yeah.
But to try to keep it PG, we would call it what the funk, right?
Oh, okay.
We do a little artwork and stuff like that. And my name was Joey of that, so I was Joey.
So your little gang.
Well, yeah, we
guys have
would
a
do
draw
artwork.
gang.
We would do artwork and tags
You would
and
tag
like
stuff
that.
up. You tag up the school with that?
Well, I mean,
You guys put WTF all over the school.
WTF, and all the art books, and all our art books and stuff like that. So I actually
All the desks, too.
When I was in middle school, I actually used to. People would be like, "Oh, I want my name written cool. I'll give you like $10 or whatever."
Yeah.
And people would be like, "Oh, I want the guy from Dragon Ball Z." I'm like, "Oh, I can draw it." And fucking draw
And
it.
then they would
$20, $10.
Yeah,
What?
bro.
People
my
were-
weed money.
You're being commissioned.
For real.
You know what I mean?
Commissioned to
So-
do work.
Exactly. So
real.
that's kind of how it all snowballed into, I got to do art for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So that's how the funk part kind of stuck to that. It was a more sanitized version of funk. But
Gotcha. Right.
also
It worked, though.
the music style was very, very good. I am a big
Yes.
fan of
Funk music. I always
That's
thought
what
I always
that's
thought it
what
was
I
because of
thought.
that.
Yeah, well,
funk music.
Yeah, I mean, eventually when I got into like the music stuff or whatever, that's kind of how I.
It's like,
I
like funk
like
too.
that.
This
Yeah,
is just
it's-
all works.
Yeah, because you start smoking weed and all of a sudden you're like, man, this fucking music is amazing. I want to listen to all these funk records. What? It's like they're smoking weed with me.
All right. Well, you are a pot smoking dad, and also your Optic Studios is your company.
Optic Blast Studios, yes.
Optic
correct.
Blast Studios, and you actually created our logo, which we get lots of feedback on.
Everybody loves our logo.
I'm very glad because I've gotten lots of various feedback on that logo.
I'm sure.
Definitely, yeah. There was one time where I was when we were pitching it to the board for it to do I guess some antibody ads and stuff like that, and then we came across one of the funders was asking me. He's like, "What is this radio show?" I go, "It's a pot smoking moms," and he's a doctor, mind you. You know, so the stigma hasn't been broken to that level yet.
Right.
So I'm trying to break
working
through
on it.
for and help.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help. So I thought, I was like, it's pot smoking moms. He goes, "Did you say hot smoking moms?"
Which have a sizzle
Which
reel.
that would be okay.
Which would probably have a sizzle reel.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, sir." I said, "Pot smoking moms," and then the gentleman's face was like, "Huh?"
He's like, whoa.
Yeah, and then I think
The youth today.
yeah, and then I've had some feedback. I think someone, I forgot where it was, when I did some of the printing.
The youth today. We're fucking in our 30s. We're not youth anymore. I think you should start listening to people when they're kind of older and smoking weed. Like you, right? I mean, someone should have seen fucking what's the country singer who's been smoking weed forever? Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
So you had trouble printing?
So no, when I printed something for you guys in the beginning.
The stickers.
The stickers,
yeah.
yeah. And when I went to go pick them up, the team who actually prints and runs it for me, he gave me this face. He's like, "Bro, we've been looking at this logo for all of us trying to figure out what the hell is going on with this logo."
Oh my God, really?
From the guy who cuts it, from the guy who ran the thing to the guy who packaged it or whatever. Everyone's just like, "Bro, we've been trying to rack our heads and we're like, what the hell is going on in this logo?"
What do you mean? You explained it?
I just told him. I
The
told him it was
concept.
I told him it was my client. I explained. I go, "She's not meant to be doing all those things at the same time. It's just these are many different things that a mother can
Worries
do.
about and does.
It's not that saying that she's actually smoking pot while breastfeeding. That's not what we're trying to convey, even though that's kind of
What it looks like.
What it looks like.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the story behind the logo, so people can kind of understand it more. Not so
Oh my God.
But you know what? It gets attention.
Oh, definitely.
And that's
a topic starter for sure.
Yeah, mission fucking accomplished.
Yeah, we've had it taken down by TikTok. We've been told we can't print stuff before by a company, that they won't print it. Yeah. I was worried when we made our sign for our first event. I was like, I wonder if they're going to say anything about me.
Oh, the people that made it?
Yeah, no, nothing. They were cool with it. They didn't. I even opened it up there at the store before I took it. I was like, I need to see it before I take it, so we need to open it. Look at it right here.
Nice. Look at it.
And she was so beautiful, nice and big.
I know, that sign is...
We love her.
Yeah, I love it too.
We call her Esa Tipa.
If you go on the actual on my Optic Blast Instagram, on one of the saved little story bubble things at the top, there's a kind of quick time lapse of your logo from the sketch to kind of me working on it and stuff like that.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah, I think it was like one of the first posts 3 years ago, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been.
It's going to be on it's coming up
Be
on
2 years in
2
September.
2 years
For us.
A little ahead of myself.
That's crazy. Well, I'm kind of surprised it's 2 years too, but last 2 years flew by.
Time
Yeah,
flies when
I
you're
can't
having
believe it's
fun, I
been
guess.
almost 2 years. But you've been a major support the whole time.
Yeah,
That's
the whole
awesome.
time.
Bro, I love putting on the podcast and then just smoking a bowl out in the backyard. I'm like, they're doing what I'm doing. I actually feel like I'm here right now, but
And you are here right now.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking me up, man. It's tripping me out right now. No, you know what's going to happen on Wednesday when I listen to this in the backyard smoking weed? I'm like, oh my God, I'm smoking weed with myself. This is trippy.
You're going to be listening
I'm going to be listening to it on Wednesday in my backyard smoking pot. At
So
the same
funny.
time.
That'll be-
It's like a copy of me smoking weed at the same time. I've been watching too much
the
Loki.
TVA is going to come.
I fucking love that
That
show.
show is great.
I love that show.
That show is great.
And
Yeah,
I was not really into the Marvel. I'm more of an X-Men kind of person.
Yes.
But recently, we started watching more since we watched. What's this one we just talked about?
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Okay.
Yeah, she started getting into it after WandaVision.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then I started watching things in order because Disney set it up that way.
Yeah, you can watch the movies in
Yeah,
exactly
and just
chronological
watch
order.
Captain Marvel, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And she's
awesome.
behind. We were
but
on the
that's
journey the
fantastic.
whole time.
But that's
It's great.
though.
You could
She
just
has
binge it all.
content to, like, just watch whenever
Yeah.
she gets bored.
I
It's
know.
amazing.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They killed it with it.
It's great. And then, although that show took a while for it to start getting
To warm you up.
Yeah, I was
Which one?
WandaVision, she didn't like the
WandaVision.
first couple
I was
episodes.
like, yeah, the
Oh,
first
yeah.
couple episodes, I was like, man, I really have to deal with all this fucking cheesy ass shit.
Cheesy sitcom.
Yeah, cheesy sitcom shit to get to the point. And then we got to a point, I was like, oh, the point's awesome. And then the Loki thing started too. And it's a great show.
I really
love
like it.
It's very like Hitchhiker's Guide / like what was that other show like with the TARDIS, right?
Oh, Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, yeah.
So it's like very like trippy. Like there's multiple copies of them and like different
because the
timelines
time,
and, like,
yeah.
Did you
I love
see
that
the
shit.
extra scene at the end of the last episode?
Yeah.
Are you guys up to date
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that?
we saw the last
Did you
scene.
see the extra scene at the end? Because it's the first episode where there's an extra scene.
Not,
wait,
not
hold
that,
on.
not,
talking
isn't,
about
didn't one just
yesterday's
come out
episode?
yesterday?
Wednesday. No, not yesterday's. I didn't see
Right,
yesterday's.
right.
I
The one
I
before.
haven't seen yesterday's yet
Yeah, I
because
know.
me and Johnny usually get to do it together on like
Okay, so we
days.
won't go into spoilers. Then.
Don't say anything.
Right, but
Gotcha.
the one before
We're not going to
that.
talk about spoiler stuff
Okay.
anyway because there's I don't even know how many of our listeners
this
listen to
episode airs when the final episode of the show airs, like the finale, and airs at the same day as this show.
Oh,
Oh,
next
yeah,
Wednesday.
next Wednesday
Yeah.
is gonna be
That's
the
the
end.
final episode. The
Oh,
series
it's
finale.
almost over.
Yeah.
So sad.
But I hear they greenlit season 2, so I mean, there's
nice.
That's awesome.
More craziness hopefully coming.
Okay, so it's not like a one-off thing like Wanda was just one season.
Yeah.
They're going to actually have multiple seasons of this.
That's what reportedly they already approved the second season because, bro, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but watching Loki, like that's full Marvel production scale. Like everything,
Yes.
there's alien
It's like
planets
movies.
and yeah, it's just
It's
movie
like a
quality.
full-on movie.
It's like
You
they
know-
filmed a super movie and then they chopped it up into 4,
Yeah.
or like 6, I guess,
Yeah.
6 pieces.
When they were when him and Owen Wilson are walking in the center of whatever the TVA thing is, man, I was just like, wow, look at that. And my husband's like, oh my God, can you imagine the sound stage and the green screen? And I'm just like, it looks real.
Yeah.
Like it looks
Yeah.
so real.
Super legit, yeah.
It's legit production for real.
Yeah, they killed it with the Loki show. I can't wait for you to see.
Do
the
your
next
kids
show.
watch that?
They caught, funny enough, they caught us watching WandaVision,
Yeah.
the Halloween episode.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh, that was a good one.
We usually try not to involve them because they talk so much, it's just ruins kind of everything.
Experience,
and we
yeah.
pull it down and we get angry.
Right.
So,
How old are your kids? 4?
6 and 4.
6 and 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 girls.
2 girls, yeah.
Oh, so
Girl
we're
dad.
kind of, you're a little ahead of me.
He's a little ahead of you.
He's
yeah.
a little ahead of me.
He's your future, like in
Poquitico.
a couple years.
Poquitico. so they started watching the WandaVision and they liked that there was like a Halloween episode and the kids were running around and they
And their
had powers
costumes.
and all this stuff. So,
Yeah, it was really cute.
and so then they every now and then they're like, hey, let's watch WandaVision, and then they'll only put on that episode.
The only-
what I
yeah.
mean? So I'm like, oh, that's cute. They like kind of see, they understand if they see like the kids Wiccan in the Speed in a movie, in a Marvel movie in the future, they'll be like, wait a minute, are those kids from WandaVision? Like, and then
Yeah,
they'll
they
bring them-
connect it.
They'll bring
yeah.
them fully into, and then I'll start be like, we have
Little
so
by
much-
little, you
we
will
have
get
so much
drawn
stuff
in.
to watch. I love.
I'm still
the
trying to
Loki
get
show.
like my son to like Harry Potter. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's watch Harry Potter. But he's so like into his thing, and I'm like, I have to wait at a moment where he just wants to chill and watch something.
I tried to get her into Harry Potter. We saw the first movie, and I haven't been able to get them to watch the second movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the same.
and I myself have only seen maybe to the 3rd or 4th movie because I saw the first 2 in high school in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I was still like super into it. But then eventually, I don't know why I fell off. But now that
I'm a total Potterhead.
now
big
that
time.
I'm trying to get my daughter into it, I'm trying to get my daughter into
Read
it
the
so I
books.
can get into it with
Read
her.
the books with her.
I want to get into it
When
with
she gets a
her,
little
so
older.
I'm not like
Yes.
super spoiled or whatever.
When she's like 10, I would say maybe. Start read the books. I'm like dying for my son to be at age to like read the books. I feel like the best time for them to read the book is like when they're Harry's age. So you kind of like,
Okay. Oh, so
Around-
it goes with him, kind of.
yeah, because at the
mentally?
time where the books were coming out, where you got them every year, every couple years, like
Gotcha.
the kids that were reading them at that time were literally growing up with Harry Potter. I didn't grow up with Harry Potter. I read it when like already a few of the books were out, and then I got into it, and I had to wait for like 6 and 7 to come out.
Gotcha.
And then the movies are good, but the books.
In high school, I used to work at this toy store called FAO Shores.
Yes.
Right, that's what, in Dolphin Mall.
Yes.
No, sorry, Sunset Place, right? Sunset Place. And then that's where I found out about Harry Potter, because obviously all the toys, and all the
merchandise.
merchandise bonanza.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
What is this?
It was the biggest thing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was, and to be at a store like that, it was like they go all out for that type of shit. So it was like really like, okay, I gotta put up the displays and all that. This Harry Potter thing must be cool, and
Yeah, I love like not getting it because I don't know about it, but just like being a cheerleader for everybody who fucking loves Harry Potter. I love it.
Yeah,
it's
I
really
fucking
cute.
love it.
I even like the clothes and stuff that they make, but I always feel like a dipshit because I don't know. I seen, just like you, I seen the first 3 as an adult because I felt so guilty.
Oh my God. The fourth one is when it starts getting dark. That's when you get the first death. Like the first kid dies. And then like after that shit gets real.
Kid
All right, there we
dies?
go. That's
At
what
the
I'm
end
talking
of the fourth one?
Oh my God.
Voldemort's back, bro.
Whoa. Yeah, I thought you couldn't say that. That's what I know.
So what do you like to do with your kids? What are some of the like...
Okay, so more
As a pot smoking dad.
As a pot smoking dad, what are some of your favorite things?
after
hobbies.
Yeah, so one thing recently I've really gotten into with them was these little plastic model kits, right, from Japan, right?
Yes.
Bandai specifically, this company makes a whole bunch of like not just cool robot little plastic toys, but they also make like Pokemon figures and like
My husband has
cute
bought
little
these for my
toys.
son.
Right? Yeah, so
Pikachu, Eevee.
Yeah, so I just bought like a few. It was $7, $15, super cheap, right? But the awesome part is that they'll actually sit down and like start putting it together, and it takes them like kind of like the afternoon to put it together, and at the end they built their toy.
And then they get to play with it.
Exactly. So it kind of gives them more of like oh wow, I built this, let me not destroy it right away.
Oh my
You know what I mean?
God.
Because kids are kids,
And they are fragile. Do you glue them together?
No. That's
so
the good thing about the Bandai ones, that like
they click.
They click together. They snap together. All you got to do is get like an alicate, which is a nail clipper, right? Nail clipper. How do you say it?
Is it? You mean
like for-
Yeah.
It's like
a nail file?
No, it's
No,
like
a clipper.
for the cuticles, I think. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's a
like
sharp, pointy
the
one.
scissor
okay.
one. Like
It's
the
like-
scissor, like the one
It's
that
like
they
a
cut your
it's like
cuticles
a little
with.
clipper.
Gotcha.
that
When you get a manicure.
Yeah, when you get a manicure. So like my wife had a manicure. She does her nails all the
She
time.
cuts
So I
them
was
with
like,
that.
hey, that looks like the perfect tool. Because I've seen the ones that they sell for that, and then the actual plastic. You need an actual little sharp knife and a clipper, but the actual alicate, which is the little nail
Works,
clipper,
does it all.
does it all in one shot. So like
So efficient.
Exactly. So, bro, I was there instead of me building my own, which is kind of what I want to do. I just helped the kids build theirs while my wife built hers.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know if she was gonna like it or whatever, but she was super into it. Like she got it.
Your
all.
wife?
Yeah, and because she likes crafting. And,
Yeah.
and
Crafting's
all that
fun.
stuff. Yeah. So that was a way for all of us to sit at a table. Nobody was on their phone. Nobody was like, oh, I want to do something else. Everybody was super into like building their own toy, and at the end, they got a little toy to put on their shelf and all that stuff.
Yes.
That was so satisfying to do as a family event. That was, bro. I spent $20 max, like on the little supplies or whatever. And if they want to get more intricate, you can always paint them or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's like the next.
That's
level.
cool. I want to check one of those out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my husband loves doing that with my son. They'll sit down and they'll each build a model together.
But next time, why don't you? You should definitely.
Yeah, he
get on
didn't
that.
buy me a
get
model.
You
but
should buy everybody, including yourself, a model.
Look, next time, get one for you and your son. And
he
then,
should get me some kind of Harry Potter one.
Well, I'm sure something.
Yeah, I'm sure they have
Yeah,
something
they have
Harry
something for
Potter.
everyone. Yeah, yeah, but definitely.
I like doing board games.
Board games are cool.
You've seen my shelf.
I can't get the kids to not fight when they play competitive games, so that's why I have to do something.
Oh, do co-op games. There's co-op board games where you work together to beat the game.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Because they need that in their
Yeah,
lives.
they make them a team.
Yeah.
Is that how it gets?
What?
I mean, as siblings, they're always going to have their fights and stuff, but for the most part.
Your girls don't fight yet?
Oh my God, they fight all the time.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, I know that that's like, it happens.
They fight. They
But-
set
That's what
each other
siblings
up
do.
to fail.
But
Like,
they're
and then they're like, "You see, she failed." And I'm like, "Oh man, come on! I saw what you did there, man.
terrible.
Like, don't do that." Yeah.
That's terrible.
So do you have any, do the girls have any hobbies or anything that they do other than model building? Activities, you said?
Well, more. I guess as recent as this week, because I guess after this whole pandemic thing, we don't know. Is it the right time to start activities?
Taking them out. Yeah.
so-
I'm still
Yeah.
really wary of that.
So the local park, I guess, over there in Doral has like a park services and stuff like that where they offer karate and like ballet and like all this stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
You just gotta pay them. But so my daughter, sorry, I panicked. So my oldest daughter is very sensitive, right? She's a super sensitive soul. She's very empathetic. You know, if she sees someone on the street that doesn't have food, she's like, Dad, we got to go get them food. We got to help them out in some way. You know what I mean? And my younger daughter, she's more like, hey, move out of the way, beanstalk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally, I heard
that sounds like your girls.
Yeah, I know. I think it might be kind of. I know what you're talking about.
So she even has that kind of like raspy voice, which I find hilarious. She sounds like an old little Jewish lady that was reborn into my, a little old soul, like reborn into like my daughter or something like that. So she's really tough, right? So we ended up putting her in ballet to kind of
soften her up a little bit.
Oh, how funny!
And we put, the older one
in karate
to kind of give her some confidence, man, because she's too,
Do they like it?
So far,
they each like what?
So far, yes. So the little one starts next Tuesday, and then my older one started today with the full like outfit on and
gi or whatever
gi, exactly.
That's so cute. I'm wanting to get
what type
my
of
older
karate? Is it karate or jujitsu or?
I should know, but I don't. I know. My wife took the initiative, and then today I was just like, all right, I'm going with you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted to go. Like I really wanted to see her class and how the instructor was and all that stuff. So
Oh, that's
I'm
awesome.
proud of them, man. They look like they're ready for the next kind of
I need to
phase in their
find
little lives.
an activity for Julian.
You gotta get them to do a little bit of
time.
everything until they find something they really like, and when you see that, you just kind of.
He did soccer for a bit, and then he was like, "I don't want to do it anymore. I don't really like it." He's not that competitive like sports. He tried it, but then just wasn't into it.
No, that's why you gotta try different things. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, when I was a fat little kid, they put me in jazz class. And look, I ain't doing no jazz dancing.
When did you start theater?
Huh?
You said, didn't you do theater as a kid?
I did. I started community theater.
Maybe they thought that's why you like jazz.
I honestly think it was because they thought, oh, maybe we can get her to dance the fat off.
Oh, my God.
And that's why they put me in jazz class. But it was pretty funny. It was pretty interesting. I remember jazz class a lot. Actually, it was really fun. I
remember going to like recreation thing, like something similar like that. What you said at the park, where like they have
a club at the
multiple
park.
things. Yeah, and you have different things you could do.
I ended up doing community theater at a church. At that church across from Miami Lakes Middle School.
Oh.
I did. I ended up taking a theater there when I was 13. So I started theater when I was 13, but. Yeah, but what did you? Did you play a sport or something? Did they put you in a sport?
I didn't get to do anything. If I was in anything, it was for a very short amount of time, and then I would be pulled out of it. I wouldn't be in anything very much long because we moved all the time.
Yeah, you moved all the time.
And then my mom was also a single mom of 3 kids, so I had to be the babysitter. I was like the one that watched my brothers after school while my mom's still working, so yeah, I didn't have any.
You didn't have any extracurriculars?
No. The only thing was that when I finally stayed with my dad and I was in high school, I joined the mock trial team in high school, and I was in the legal club, and we did competitive mock trial stuff.
That's fun.
Legal club.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's cool.
So, how open are you with your family about your cannabis use? Does everybody know?
Oh man, I mean, all of the cousins that were born here in the United States, like
they're all potheads,
they're all
right?
cool with it. Everyone's like, it's not even a big thing. You know what I mean? It's
a lot of my cousins smoke.
All the older generations seem to have some kind of stigma against it, and not even for like, I don't know. Like my mom, she says she doesn't like the way it smells. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, the smell of it, like, turns me off. It makes me uncomfortable. And I'm like, I mean, have you ever smelled the good kind? I mean, you know what I mean? But,
this is the thing, though,
she
too.
doesn't even, it's
if
hard
they don't use it,
they don't use it. So
they're not going to appreciate it.
They don't understand the value of it because they don't understand, like, they only know from what they've heard pretty much their parents drill into their heads. And then their parents were I'm sorry, but most likely it was more of a racist connotation from what I understand.
Yeah,
from
for
everything
sure.
from what I heard when I was little, it sounded like it was coming from a racist point of view, and I didn't grow up as that. Didn't bother that. From what they were telling me, that didn't bother me. I'm like, oh, just because of certain people are said to use it more, that doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother me.
Why would that bother me?
That doesn't bother me. That probably means that you've never tried it. You know what I mean? So like, I had more of a like logistical kind of like approach, and since I kind of tried it at an early age, I kind of understood like it's not the thing that. Sorry, it's not the thing. It's not the thing that everyone kind of makes it out to be. It's kind of even more demonized, I think. I don't know. It just seems like people don't want you to be less stressed. You know what I mean? Like the people who
They rather you be
as stressed as they are.
Well,
Yeah,
because
you know what I
they
mean?
don't.
Like,
Yeah, they.
about stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's the judging.
They rather you drink.
but I don't understand that.
It's so
I don't
bad.
get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And I understand that
It's
some jobs like you can't like. So for example, if you're a truck driver or something like that, you can't really do that because like let's say you smoke on the weekends, right? And then you go to work and then something happens, you're still going to test positive if you smoke on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like from a while, that's probably how the runner, got.
Because it takes a long to get out of your system, right?
To get out of your system, correct.
Yeah,
So
Have any of you ever pissed hot in the drug test? I have for a job.
No, I always use.
I even took
cleanser.
one of those detoxes.
Yeah, I did, and I've never
think so.
gotten.
I don't think I've ever.
called out
and
for
it's still freaking popped hot.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
used that piss thing probably a few times, and it's
so
been fine for me.
No, it was one of the ones you
I've been
drink.
using
One of the
those.
ones you drink.
One of the ones you drink, and then you get the window of time.
See,
You have
that's
to
the
drink
problem.
water.
Is that it was one of the ones you drink, and I'm not good at chugging shit that tastes like shit. And it took me like 10 minutes to drink the whole thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like,
but you don't.
You have to like really
cheap
drink
It
it.
was, yeah, but it would still. It still should have.
It didn't work
Did you get
for
your
me.
money back? Because they offer your money back.
Whatever. I wasn't meant to have that job.
Yeah,
So-
fuck that job.
So do your in-laws know you smoke? I mean, I'm pretty sure they
Everybody
do, right?
in my family knows I smoke weed,
Yeah.
except for my abuela.
Except-
She doesn't need to know.
Yeah, she don't.
But
even
like my tia just recently told her, and she said she was cool. Like she didn't care.
Yeah.
So because
yeah,
my tia lives with her now.
¿Pa qué va a coger lucha? Like, why is she gonna fucking? You know what? Sometimes I just like, why do people get?
And now
Why do
there's
people let shit
studies.
bother them? Like, it's so. Why are you putting forth your energy and letting some
what
stupid
it might
trivial
be?
shit bother you?
You know
bro?
what it might be too? Maybe it's like, oh, why don't they invite me to smoke? Like, you know what I mean?
No,
You
my
think it could be-
tia told her that, hey, they say that it might help with Alzheimer's because there's now studies saying that it could help with dementia and Alzheimer's. And she's like, okay, dame la marihuana.
Tráelo pa' acá. Ven pa' acá, ven pa' acá. Yeah, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes,
I think
you never know.
CBD is what it actually helps with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna have
the
to find the
study?
article on it. But yeah, what
I
about
mean,
your in-laws? Do your in-laws know?
My father-in-law the other day walked into my house and his eyebrows went what?
Because of the smell?
Because we got a new strain, and I guess it was more potent, right? And then when you live with it, so it's like sometimes like even
You don't notice.
I put it in the jar fast, so like so it doesn't like linger, but still like I guess it was that day that I had gotten it earlier.
He still smelled it. It was still in the air,
bro, it still was
lingering.
in the air, and then he like
That sweet,
just
sweet
those eyebrows
smell.
shot straight up, and we were like, oh shit.
Oh shit!
But he didn't say anything?
Did he
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 say?
didn't say anything. He's cool. I mean, he smoked too back in the day. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's
You
my-
guys are
that's-
responsible
but
parents.
That's that in-law. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
My mother-in-law came over the same day, had the same reaction. So they know. It's just they seem like uncomfortable about it. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to make any direct determinations.
You know what I mean? No, I mean,
What can they
clearly
say?
know. They clearly know. It's just, I think they're just more worried about like how we're managing the kids situation. I'm like, dude, like
It helps managing the kids situation.
No, I know. But
Yeah, but when you tell them-
what they think of
Right.
it, like,
They
'cause-
think that you're
Yeah, 'cause
how
You're stoned out of your
Look,
ass.
No, here's the thing. No, it's not that. It's that when I was young, when I was little,
Yeah.
my father, my grandfather, some of my aunts, they would go outside to smoke cigarettes. So to me, that's like, okay, that's an adult thing that
Yeah.
they do
Uh-huh.
because it smells gross and I'm over here.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean? So in my head, I'm like, I go outside. I tell them I'm going outside to meditate. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I do. They see me sitting out there. You know what I mean? My piece, I hide it like kind of
Yeah.
in front of me. You know, they see me out there. They fuck off. You know what I mean? Like they go into the room, they play. They're not even interested because they see dad sitting outside there meditating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you know, I'm in my backyard over there, far away. And then when I come back inside, you know, I'm just, whatever bothered me before doesn't bother me anymore. So like,
Exactly.
you know, it's just better for everybody, you know? Like,
Yes.
Like,
It's better for them.
you know,
It's better for me.
I'm sure a lot of people have anger management.
I'm
issues.
sure a lot of people
Sometimes-
have not died thanks to marijuana. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I would much rather go outside and take a breather than drink a beer to feel better about something that got me angry. Because that's not going to make me feel better. It's just going to get me more angry because it's going to make me be even like, you know, lower my inhibitions even more about the anger part, not about feeling better about it, you know, and then
100%.
you know, and I feel very lucky that my wife also partakes with me enough to that, like, you know, most situations get resolved. You know what I mean? Within, you know, a night. We don't usually let things boil over to the next night. You know, usually at nighttime, if the kids are asleep and we're angry,
Go smoke a bowl
or if
together.
we're angry at each other, that's the best thing. You know, that we pass the peace pipe, literally. You know what I mean? Any squabble you guys had during the day is just squashed, and then it's great. You know, everyone sleeps great, rests for the night. Boom, wake up in the morning. Like, you know, I've tried, taking tolerance breaks and stuff like that. And when I do, I think, you know, my dreams come back. And all of a sudden,
Yes, it's so true.
And all of a sudden, instead of relaxing and sleeping, I'm like, you know.
Yeah, you're like mowing your neighbor's lawn at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Exactly.
You're like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Or all of a sudden I'm having like a flashback until like I'm in a video game that I played earlier. I'm like, oh, I remember this part. No. Or, you know what I mean? Like anything, you know, like just, it's not relaxing and waking up.
I know. When I was pregnant, that's the last tolerance break I had. When I was pregnant, it was just like kind of a combination of like, yeah, you stop smoking, you get your REM back.
Yes,
so
I used to
sleeping.
having crazy dreams.
Yeah, man.
And then you get it heightens because you're not smoking weed and you're pregnant, so it's like double whammy on the dreaming.
Yes, it's crazy.
Maybe that's why people who don't smoke are so uptight, because they have such crazy dreams that they think people are doing crazy shit.
They're
to
never
them.
getting proper
Like,
rest.
They're paranoid from the
and
crazy
when you
dreams.
have a lot of stress already
novela,
in your
like, you know,
life,
like-
you dream about that
Exactly,
shit.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, bro. When I was a waiter, I would have the nightmare of like being in the weeds. Have you not? You know, you've ever waited tables?
I wash dishes.
I
Okay.
never had to wait.
So
tables,
when
thank
you're
God.
waiting in the when you're in the weeds, that means like they've sat you. You have a bunch of tables, and you don't have, you know, you have a system of doing things and taking care of things and your timing, right? So when you're in the weeds, your timing is fucked, and like you have 1,000 things you have to do. People are getting mad. The kitchen's backed up. Like, and those are the dreams I used to have when I used to serve tables. I would be in the weeds.
see, that's who needs that.
So much work piled up that you would walk out in the dream and be like, "Oh
Fuck
my
that
God,
shit.
I can't.
I'll
be
get
here
high
anymore.
before bed.
I
I
gotta leave this job. Yeah,
Get
I know.
high before bed and don't dream.
Yeah, get high before bed and don't dream. No dreams. Stop dreaming. Stop dreaming.
I've had
No
enough.
dreams.
Only real life dreams. Go for your real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make
only-
your dreams reality.
Make
Okay?
your dreams real.
Yeah.
You leave those head dreams in there.
So tell us about the science of burn and herb.
Burn and herb, yeah.
Burn and herb.
Okay, so this is a book I've been working on. I've been slowly putting together over the last, I want to say like 10 years, honestly. And I know that sounds like a long time, but it really isn't. Like when you're like working on one thing.
Right.
You know, like, so, you know, because obviously ideas come, ideas go, and, you know.
I mean,
it's
and then
really,
it depends what the
molding
idea
it
is.
together,
Sometimes,
you know?
yeah, it takes you longer to figure something out.
Yeah, because like an older version of me will have a more complex thought out version of what younger me, an idea that I kind of put there. You know what I mean? So like, and then also like putting together an art style. You know, as a graphic designer, I can make so many different like kind of art styles that imagine it's hard to pick. It's easier to pick for a client, but it's almost impossible to pick for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like even then honing down in which art style do I want to make? Do I want to make it like anime? Do I want to make it like a manga where there's no color?
I know.
So like, but all of those ideas have slowly been weeded out, and now it's been coming together.
Okay.
Right? Like
the style.
all the style, everything's coming together now. And then I'm hopefully putting it out by SuperCon, right? So I'm giving myself like this deadline to finally like get it all wrapped up and put it out. And then eventually I want to, I'm going to put out, I want to print out a few copies on hemp paper, you know what I mean? Like put a paper that you can actually print out and roll up, you know what I mean? Like all these like cool little like ideas. I want to put it out at like, when you go to like a dispensary or something like that, there could be a little comic rack with a few issues. You know what I mean? Like, or
that's
something
cool.
like that.
For sure.
So you get outside of the comic book stores, you can go into like the hemp kind or like, the cannabis field and all that stuff. And then people who smoke enjoy something to do while they smoke. So it's kind of like
it's a good niche.
It's a good little niche. And then, I'm working in all of the little, like, all the little culture, all the little pod culture and cannabis culture and like, the benefits and all that stuff, and like even how to grow stuff, like it's all woven into kind of like the story. So like reading the story, one would be like, that's a good idea. Plants need 12 hours of light, but that was part of the story. But then you kind of learn that plants need 12 hours of light. You know what I mean? So like you're kind of like educating through like this kind of, I call it a stoner punk fantasy situation, because they have like incredible like stuff. Like, so for example, they have an airship that's called the Indica 1. Right. So, and then the actual blimp part of it is like the lungs of a dragon, because if you think about it, the lungs of a dragon breathe fire so that they withstand the heat. So if you fill the dragon's lung sac with hot air, it would lift the boat into the sky. It would look like a crazy
jeez, that's
like
crazy.
A crazy gnarly lantern, like like a glowing meat sack in the sky.
Glowing meat sack.
But attached to a ship. So like, what I mean? Like, it's all like these really like creative like uses for like recycling monsters and stuff like that. So like if they kill a dragon, they'll use the saliva. They'll use the saliva of the dragon into like this thing that shoots it out, and when the saliva shoots out, it turns into a flamethrower. You know what I mean? So like it's all like kind of thought out, and then so like he'll make a lighter that uses the like dragon saliva, and he's like a little lighter, but it's like medieval times. So these are inventions that they're coming up because they smoke weed. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, hey, I got an idea. What if we could make
you were high making this.
So
it's very creative.
The characters themselves, one is a blacksmith that makes weapons and stuff like that, and then he can actually, like, if he gets high, he's like, you know what, I can actually build that sword with a fucking thing, So imagine someone like people that can actually make things, getting high and then inventing inventions.
MacGyver smokers.
Yeah, MacGyver smokers. But they,
oh my God, shut up. That'll be a new TV reality show on Netflix.
Probably. So they go around kind of like hunting monsters, and then let's say a monster attacks a kingdom or something, they'll kill the monster, and then they'll get to keep all the monster parts and make shit out of it, and then
my gosh,
they'll get paid, and they'll be like,
like a car,
kind of like Ghostbusters, but like pothead medieval.
Like pothead witch hunter. Was it The Witcher?
Yeah, kind of
The
like
Witcher. Going around killing monsters.
Yeah, and then in an airship. You know what I mean? That's pretty dope. And then, there's lots of stuff. Like, so for example, one cool twist we got is well, actually, I'm not going to.
Yeah, don't tell us everything. Wait, but when's Florida SuperCon this year?
It's set for September 10th.
Because it's usually in July, right? But
yeah, it's September 10th through the 12th.
Okay, so that's your goal.
There's a little bit. That's my like little window just to get the first issue, 24 pages.
Are you gonna cosplay?
Oh, we should. I should get my girls to play as the two little.
You should cosplay your characters.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I could actually get my girls to play the two sisters. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what I got planned for the comic book thing, and then who knows what could come out of that. You know what I mean? So, hopefully we get enough interest to do a issue 2 and issue 3, and then I want to do a self-contained story. I don't want to do it like Spider-Man that goes on forever and ever and ever. Yeah. I want to like have it be like a one book graphic novel or something that people can be like have that experience, and then that's done. Because I'm not gonna
keep going.
Plan on doing something. I just want to put.
Hey,
something
you never know.
I know, but I just
if it takes off, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. But that's just something that I think will be really, really cool to like go along with a little bowl, smoke bowl read.
I want to read it.
Yeah, I want to read it too.
I'll definitely pass you guys the first copy
for sure.
So, other than like logos and stuff, what are the different services Optic Blast does? He's like, let me take a drink of water for this one.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, well, we do vehicle wraps, animations, video editing, T-shirts.
You can animate
stickers.
us?
We can animate you, yeah.
Ooh.
We can do little GIFs, do GIFs. Produce GIFs, rotate your logo or animate your logo. I could actually look, if you want, we could do the arms. We could, like,
Have the smoke.
The smoke. We could have the smoke drifting off, or, things like that,
Okay.
Music videos, if you guys, anything like that.
You guys do a lot of stuff.
Business cards, stickers, pretty much anything that can be designed and brought into reality. Like,
You make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I love, like,
Make it happen.
I work with a lot of small, like, companies, like mom and pops, and it's super satisfying to help someone that has no idea how to even, like, form, like, what would the logo even be? I'm like, all right, well, what are your favorite colors? What do you like? What do you not like? What,
like the journey of finding your logo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a process.
Creating it.
You really get to know your clients and stuff like that, and then have, like, an intimate relationship, because they're literally like, okay, this is everything I'm putting my energy, my heart, my blood, sweat, and tears into. Please, help me get this out of my head. So, and that's my favorite part. Whenever someone sees it, they're like, wow, I didn't even know it could even, like, look like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super awesome. And that's super satisfying to me, because that helps them get from 0 to 1, which is, like, usually, like, the hardest.
Yeah.
The hardest step is 0 to 1, because, like you said, sometimes it takes off or whatever, but 0 to 1 is just, like, the absolute.
I feel like the logo too is kind of like
The big thing.
it kind of is a big thing. Yeah, it's like it's gonna be the thing that sets the tone
your
for
branding.
what your brand is.
Yeah.
And ultimately, just like, a book might take you 10 years to make. You might start one place with a logo and, develop something over the time. Or
It changes, yeah.
what you
Logos
start
change.
off with, you think, this first idea that you have is never is usually like it progresses into something, it evolves.
I mean, look at Coca-Cola and all these different big companies. They change their logos over the years.
Even my own logo, I refresh it every, like, 4 or 5 years. I have to change it, because I'm looking at this icon, and it's not that it no longer represents, like, the company. It's just that it represented that period in time,
Right.
Yeah.
Like that little chapter, what I mean? And then once you and it's very nice to be able to see a logo kind of, like, change and evolve over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Mickey. Like, Mickey changes.
But there's still, like, that core.
There's,
like,
I like the animation on Mickey. The animation recently that he has.
I
his
love
own
him, yeah.
comic thing.
Uh-huh.
It's really
Oh, yeah.
nice.
It's really
It's kind of
funny.
like-
The
it-
current cartoons are crazy.
It's super funny. He looks kind of classic, but it's updated. Like, I think it's like a cool cartoon.
Yeah.
Cool Mickey version.
It gives me the vibes of, like, kind of like the early Nickelodeon stuff, where it's very, like, in your face. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, like, sometimes they do a close up on, like, Goofy's face, and it's, like, super, like, gross. I'm like, yo, this is like, this is straight up Nickelodeon.
Like Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy, yeah.
This is like Nickelodeon in the 90s, you know what I mean? Exactly, like Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, like all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So animation is a big reason why I got into doing graphics and all that stuff. Like, I've always, the plan is when you're little, like, oh man, you see the Ninja Turtles, you see G.I. Joe, you see all these great stuff. You're like, man, like, I want to make that stuff. Like, I want to make my own version of that, but I'm just, I feel like if you don't actively try to do what you want to do, it's very easy to lose sight.
For sure.
Career-wise is what I'm trying to say. So, like, even through high school, I always knew that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. Family's like, are you sure that's what you want to do? You sure you don't want to be a lawyer or a doctor?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Something, you can make
you lots of money.
And I'm like, yeah, being an artist, you will eventually, do your thing, and then that will bring you your money. But you do, it's
different.
You help a lot of people
when you're creative.
Yeah. So
you don't really do it for the money, and that's the thing too. It's
You gotta
like,
enjoy what you're doing,
Right.
otherwise you're gonna go crazy.
correct. So part of one of the things that I enjoy is helping lots of companies, get started and get their identities and
Get their vision together.
their feet off the ground. You know what I mean? But sometimes I'm I'm not such a good businessman in the sense because I'm more of like, trying to like
creative guy.
Yeah, more of a creative guy. You know what I mean?
And
so
you're forced to do 1,000 things.
Exactly. So that's why, like, in a sense, it is possible to make lots and lots of money. It's just to do that involves
it's all consuming time.
Yeah, you need to like get
you're
a contract.
You're also a stay-at-home dad too, right?
But,
you stayed home with the girls.
That's a lot of.
You were at home with your 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot to do your business and have 2 girls in the house with you.
The last 5 years, the business has, clearly has to take a back seat. You know what I mean?
Right.
To the kids. There's no way. And my wife is the primary breadwinner, which is, I totally support her. I love that. She's like killing it in her job. She is like a boss. You know what I mean? So I'm very proud of that, and that allows me to do my job and, take care of my clients and my customers during the day. There's been times where I've had to get jobs, doing dishwashing at night. Right before COVID happened, I was doing dishwashing at night to augment because we had like, my company was not doing so well during that time. So I was like, what? I got to do what I got to do. Wife needs a birthday present. You know what I mean? Like, can't not get the birthday
Well, that's like,
so,
that,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
do what you got to do.
You're a hustler. That's how it works.
So then, bro, and that was right before COVID. Yeah. So then COVID happens, and then all of a sudden the movie theater of all places, like, nah, we're shutting down. We don't know when we're gonna get, you're laid off. And I was like, whatever. Everything happens for a reason. It's fine. Had that not happened, I would not have been home to catch all the work that I did because there was work coming in.
Yeah.
People were and it sucks to say, but like while people were home at COVID, people were like, well, maybe I can start my own company, or maybe I can do what I always wanted to do. I'm here right now. There's time right now.
Yep.
Let me watch some YouTube videos. Let me figure out what I want to do now. And that in turn, people were like asking me for help. And like, hey, I need this. Hey, I need that. Hey, and I was actually home because I got laid off from the whole COVID thing to catch all that work.
Yeah.
And then so kind of like everything kind of
works out. Yeah.
I feel like that
agree.
happened for a lot of people.
For a ton of people. Yeah. And I mean, and look at all the people are realizing things.
Corporate jobs.
I think that should have happened before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that employers need to start. I mean, I'm sorry. I can go on and on about this topic, but I honestly feel like our generation is done with the fuck shit. And a lot of us, they're quitting their jobs to kind of pursue their passions and stuff because we're starting to figure out that we can do it.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of work. But everything is a lot of work.
Everything's a lot of work. It's either benefiting you or it's benefiting
directly
someone else.
or it's benefiting someone else.
You know what I mean?
You could work full-time for yourself or full-time for someone else.
It's all about really discipline, man, because, if you don't, you have to make time for what you want to do. Even if it's like 20, 30 minutes a day, all that shit adds up. You know what I mean? It all adds up.
Oh, I mean, listen, you're preaching to the choir. I am you, the female version of you. And and
she's home with 2 girls.
I'm home with 2 girls. I'm trying
to do her creative stuff.
My creative stuff. And it is like so hard because your personal goals definitely do take a back seat because if suddenly you don't have time blocks that you can dedicate to things because it's really just dependent on the kids. And if they're, I feel like lately they've been like needy,
and hers are littler.
Super needy. And I just can't catch a break, I get so frustrated when I wake up and say, okay, today I just need to write one email to this company that I'm trying to get a sponsorship deal or whatever, one email. Every fucking time you sit down to write that one stupid email that should take you maybe 15, 20 minutes tops, some shit goes down. The kids or my ADD or whatever. So it is really difficult. But at the end of the day, I'm glad you got all the jobs you did during the pandemic. And things do work out. I feel like people are they're finally realizing, man, and employers need to fucking start doing more for their employees.
I was able to get that work like the beginning of the pandemic or whatever because I was already set up to be working from home because I had since the last 5 years taking care of the kids at home from home. So while people were transitioning, oh shit, I got to make a home office, I got to do all this stuff. I was already set up for that type
ready
of
to
shit.
go.
I was already ready to go because that was that home dad life. You know what I mean? Like my computer's here, the bed is fold with half folded clothes over here, the other folded clothes over there, and I gotta write this email. I gotta fold this. You know what I mean? If they're in school, when they were in school,
Oh
like,
my
I was lucky,
gosh.
but when they were home, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
And then when we started slowly going back to school, they would get sick, not with COVID,
Yeah.
with a normal cold,
Yeah.
but then you had to prove that it wasn't COVID, like
Yep.
to go back because
They
I guess
can't,
they're in
yeah.
private school, so like they it was a small amount of number of kids to begin with. So like that's why I guess they opened up. They were able to open up like a little bit earlier than the public schools.
Yeah.
When they started going like back in person or whatever. But dude, like they would come home with colds and like normal, and then they'd get us sick, and then everybody
Yeah.
would get sick, and then we'd all have to go to Tropical Park to go get tested. You know, and then,
Oh my gosh.
and then
you guys did get COVID one time.
yeah, I got told COVID twice. I got
Twice?
COVID 2 times. I had that shit in the April of last year. I got it. I was in quarantine like 6 days before.
I remember you getting it not long after
Yeah.
the pandemic
Before
started.
my daughter got it, I was in there 6 days. And then my daughter started getting a fever and started getting sick. So we had her in the room, and my wife and my other daughter were in the outside of that room.
yeah.
So I had to spend
Separate.
pretty much 23 days in there because my 14 days reset when she came in.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So
Yeah.
so
I see
you know,
sad
and
right
then
now.
and then again this year, like about like I don't know, like 2 or 3 months ago or whatever, I had gotten it again, and then that was another quarantine, which is it's crazy because in a way it focuses because you're locked in a room, and at least I'm like locked in my office with my bed and the bathroom, so it was
Yeah.
like it was functional for me. The first like 4 days were hell. I was like sweating on the floor trying to keep cold because the tile was cold and it was hot.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was like rough. But after that, I was like, okay, I got to use this time. I got to get my shit together. You know what I mean? Like you know, you really appreciate what you got going on when you realize I didn't die again. You know what I
I
mean?
didn't die, I guess. I'm
So,
still here.
you know, so after that, you know, you really like start, you know, bro, I mean, you always took it seriously, you know what I mean? It's just now that everyone's most people are vaccinated and everything you know, everyone's kind of more comfortable. You know, we even went out to do this whole, you know, park thing with the kids.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so that shows a level of comfort when we took this shit as seriously as anybody could because we were affected by it. We know what it's like to have half the house be sick and you can't infect the other house. So that means my wife has to
Do everything on her own.
Not only do her demanding full-time job that I told you that she's a badass at, she has to take care of the other kid that can't go to school because, you know, we're locked in there, and then she has to cook for me, the daughter, clean,
yeah.
all that shit.
Yeah.
So like she takes Wonder Woman, and I'm sure
She never got it?
she never got it. Her and my other daughter
Never got it.
That's
Both
how-
times.
But that's how it goes to show you if like you actually like clean and
you're
do it,
careful.
and you're careful and you do it the right way, as exhausting as it may be, it's mitigatable. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
and they do it in hospitals all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it was just to see her pull that shit off like twice. I'm like, I'm so happy that I
Superwoman.
married this woman because
Married
she's
a
super
badass.
mom, and she never got it once, and she's fully vaccinated.
Shit, we should have her on our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman. That's
She is.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So thanks, wifey.
Thank you, wife, for taking care of me. Every time I almost died, she's always.
Every time I almost die,
there.
she's there.
My appendix almost took me out one time.
Really?
On her
Oh, that's
birthday.
right.
On her birthday.
What do you?
Oh my God.
But that's a story for another time.
All right. So, Optic Blast Studios, if you want to get a hold of Joey, you are at Optic Blast _ on Instagram,
Yes,
right? Accidentally put it too close. And then at Joey Funk, also on Instagram,
Yes.
right? And the website is Optic Blast Studios.
.com.
Yeah, so hit him up for some work. Yeah, man.
We're 420 friendly.
420 friendly
Yeah.
company.
So we'll print whatever we leave you want to print. You know what I mean? Like
Straight up Bud, Nugs, whatever you want.
Yeah,
Bongs,
you know,
rings.
Zazzle might not print it.
A sizzle reel.
But Joey Funk
Yeah.
will. A sizzle reel, perhaps. Yeah, Joey does sizzle reels too. We didn't know that.
if you need a sizzle reel,
If you need a
You need a
sizzle.
sizzle reel.
I can
Joey.
Bringing it back.
Joey's your man.
That's amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for our podcast. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there, so we're glad that you chose us. Thank you so much if you're a sponsor. Yanni, Destiny, Lauren, Jesse, Christy, April, Terry, Shelby, and Denise.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have a new one. Liza.
Oh. new.
We have a new patron.
She just signed up this week,
She
right?
did sign up this week.
Liza.
So thank you guys for
Peaches. I was like, what is her name?
Yeah,
I just saw Peaches.
Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are the real MVPs. If you're listening to us, hey man, catch us on Instagram Live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Wednesday.
Wednesdays. So check us out. Thanks, Joey, for joining with us.
It's been a pleasure. Also, don't forget to follow up with Captain J about the ending of Loki.
Oh,
See
yeah.
what her thoughts are. I'm going to follow up.
We will follow up.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.